I mean, the thing is, Conservative voters have been sort of left squandering really after this because we haven't got a strong and effective opposition right now. And you're right, they need to come together and put some policy on the table. I just want to ask you, because you mentioned Barnaby Joyce and you mentioned Jacinta Nampijinpa-Price. Barnaby is out of a senior role there. Jacinta Nampijinpa-Price, same deal. I mean, she's technically out of the shadow cabinet there. Has her defection been a waste of time?
Look, she's looking to get in the lower house, and I think that she'll run for a lower house seat at the next election. If she wants to move up the chain, and that's what it's about her political future. Look, Danica, she's only been in Parliament for three years. What is her credentials? Aboriginal affairs, I thought they should have kept her there. She knows her stuff, she should have been there, not to put her in defence. She's got to get some stripes up, and she has to prove her worth to the Australian people. There was only one issue about the voice. Yes, she was the voice for the coalition, but so was I, so was Malcolm Roberts, so was Gary John, so was Barnaby Joyce, so was a lot of other people, and Warren Mundine as well. So there's a lot of people. She didn't win the vote on her own. She did a lot for it, and I give her credit. And what helped her also was she was Aboriginal, and that helped it also to get it across the line. But the fact is, let her earn her stripes. And, you know, what needs to happen also, Simon Birmingham was no pushback in the last Parliament in the Senate, and that's hoping now that Michaela Cash will lead opposition in the Senate. Do I think Susan Lee will be there at the next election? No, I don't. I think she will be replaced before the next election.
Do you think David Littleproud will be replaced before the next election?
There's rumblings still going on there, but anyway, I hope. Look, I get on all right with Dave. There's no problem. But if long as he keeps pushing for the rural and regional areas, but there is disquiet. I heard what Colin Boyce had to say. There is disquiet with the ranks of the National Party with the leadership of David Littleproud. But it's not for me to say. You know, I hope that they actually get their act together, because I do not want to see the Albanese Labor government, Greens government in there for another 2 terms. Hopefully, if we can all work together, the Conservative side of politics, and get rid of the Albanese government, because they're destroying this country. I'm just gobsmacked the number of people out there who actually voted for the Labor government this last election. They're in for a lot of hurt and pain. I warn the Australian people now, it's only just the start of it.
Yeah, as I said, $1 trillion in debt, a big Australia policy, a broken renewables system. And look, the Prime Minister was actually speaking in Brisbane today, and he stopped short of committing to use his huge majority to introduce radical reform. Have a look what he said.
It's time for us to do what we said we would do at the election. It's time for us to make sure that we continue to grow the economy and that we look after people. That is what we will do. We, of course, are an ambitious government.
Senator, I mean, how ambitious do you think he'll be? Labor has this majority of 94 seats. He cannot be trusted that he's not going to push through some sort of radical agenda.
He's not growing the economy. Actually, once the Australian-made policy comes in, it's got to be all green projects. And the fact is the government is subsidising, propping it up in the energy space constantly. He's giving handouts all the time to prop up and send people money for cover their power bills. They're going up another, 9%, 9.7%, nearly 10% in some of the states. So it's ridiculous. It's a socialist government on the border of communism, and that's all he's doing, is buying the votes for people to still vote for them. At the end of the day, people have to pay for this. Nothing's free, and it's going to be rise in taxes. And I tell you what, it's going to kill the golden goose that's out there, because a lot of the businesses, small businesses going under, industries and manufacturing going under. He's going to prop it up with high immigration, bring them into the country and think that's going to work, but it won't work because it's a Ponzi scheme. So a lot of people, like I said, are going to have to pay for this. You're going to lose a lot of services, and let's see what happens over the next 3 years. Let's see if I'm right.